Hey everybody, I hope we are live right now. Let's see. I think we are. How's everybody doing? Just waiting a moment. Let's see. I don't see a picture yet, but there we are. Okay, we are live. How's everybody doing? How's the sound today? So a quick sound and visual check. What do you guys think so far? Let's see. So we have a pretty good group already for part 2 of painting Villanelle from Killing Eve. It's very exciting. So Brad says, sounds good, visual great, perfect. That's fantastic. There's no air conditioning, there's no fans. So really there shouldn't be any kind of sound issues. Hey Blue, how's it going? So we have Mark, good to see you. Blue, Brad, we have nameless subscriber in the house. It's good to see you. Let me turn this overhead light off because it's incandescent bulbs and kind of messes with everything. And so let's see who else. We have Mike Deloach, good to see you. We have Color Graphics, Roy, good to see you. Willie, how are you, sir? Let's see who else we have today. Let's see. Hey Paul, how you doing? Good to see you, sir. Paul is back. I'm glad you're here. John Diekman from Wisconsin, good to see you. And let's see who else we have. Hey Omas, how you doing? Good to see you. How's everything? I'm so glad you're here. So we have Omas here, and I'm so glad he has come all the way from Europe to hang with us and work on Villanelle together. So it was interesting when I first put on the live stream. It wasn't showing up, but I'm glad it is. I'm glad it fixed itself. So that's really cool. So yeah, we're starting the day. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. Thanks, Mark. And you know, now you guys have a little echo again. Let's see. Not sure. Maybe something like this will help out a little bit. Let me check. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to check real quick. So let me just open up my TV and I'm going to listen from there. So I'm not sure where the little echo is coming from. Okay, Brad says no echo. That's cool. All right. And we did get the storm, but you know what? We missed it. It just missed us. So lately we've been getting very fortunate with that, with missing the storm. I'm telling you, we're dodging bullets left and right here. I think God has given us a break after we got hit between the eyes with Sandy, you know. So I'm just going to be right over here. And I'm just going to go right quick to my library, and I'm going to go to my videos, and I'm going to play this and see how it sounds. Yeah, there is a slight thing going on. I definitely can hear it, so I'm not sure what's happening with that. That could be the fact that I'm going to turn the speakers off, because that could be giving me an issue. Let's see. The fact that I'm going to turn the speakers off, because that could be giving me an issue. Let's see. The fact that I'm going to turn the speakers off, because that could be... So I'm going to do a test. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. There's a slight delay. Yeah, there's some sort of feedback thing going on. Not sure exactly what's happening. What I'm going to do, I'm going to check this, see. Some sort of feedback thing going on. Not sure exactly. So I want to have the best sound ever. So I have this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the microphone off. And let's see if that actually helps. I'm just going to turn the microphone see if that actually helps. So has that helped the situation? What do you guys think? Hey Colette, how you doing? How you feeling? Patty, good to see you. Mr. Todd and Total Pain, good to see you. Okay, so I think I rectified the sound issue. I'm gonna check real quick. Good to see you. Okay, so I think I rectified the sound issue. That sounds really good. It sounds crystal clear, like I'm in a recording studio. Yeah, it sounds much better, doesn't it, guys? Honestly, I like it. So I think I solved the problem until the next one comes. So that's basically it. So let's see. Okay, so here we are, and Mark says, "Sing it." So we are here, and I have what is called the glove stencil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start articulating some of the glove just to get that going, put some detail in there. And so, you know, just really, oh yes, Paul, thanks. And Paul and Mark says it's a lot better. And so, yes. So I think I solved the problem. It's frustrating for me because I think I had all the dots, I's dots, and the T's crossed. And then it's like, ah. But I'm glad that we finally figured it out, you know. And so, let's make this happen. So we're going to take our Xtreme Patriot arrow, customized by myself. If you haven't gotten one of these yet, I really highly recommend them. Do everything that a custom micron can do for 1/3 the price, and the parts are sometimes 25% of what the cost of an Iwata or a Harder and Steenbeck, and they're more durable. So definitely, if you have any questions, just let me know. You can email me, timothy@paintingcliffs.com, or you can just go to paintingcliffs.com, and they'll have more information on how you would acquire one of these customized Xtreme Patriot arrows. Okay, so we're going to take the detail mixture. We always go with the detail mixture when we start out, if we haven't painted in a day or something like that. You don't want to, you definitely don't want to, how do I say, you don't want to come in with the medium mixture or something like that. You want to warm up, and you want to warm up with the light mixture. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. So it's a lot better making a mistake with the detail mixture than if you were making a mistake with the dark mixture or something like that. Make sure the airbrush is always operational before we go into it. So I'm happy, and I'm happy to see everybody. And Ed's a rebird for drummer. That's cool. And so let's see here. Okay, so now we are ready to go. Let me go to my pure ref. You guys can't see that, and I'm looking for Jodie. There she is. Okay, so as I pointed out before, we are going to go ahead and work on her gloves. We're just going to articulate them a little bit. We have a stencil for the gloves here. And you want to put your magnets right up against the edge, because I like living on the edge. No, that's not the reason. Basically, you want to be on the edge because you want to keep your, you definitely want to keep your mylar or paper, whatever you're using, from billowing up, right? So that's something that you definitely want to make sure that's not happening. A glove for a glove. And Mark says he finally found color line and picked up. Oh, great. You know what? And was that the 184 pound 300 GSM, sir? Let's see. Mark, yes. Was that the, it has to be the 184 pound, which is really key, you know, because the other, it just is not going to, it's not gonna give you a good time. So, okay, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start working on this index finger here. And we're just gonna be sketching her finger in. Lower that air pressure with the pack valve, which is so great. And a lot of this, a lot of what we're doing eventually is going to kind of dissolve in the background, some of these edges on the hand. But you want to make sure that you're taking care of this hand first, getting the nice details and the contours that you need to have. And let's see here. Oh, no underspray. It's a pain to deal with. Yes, underspray is really rough there, Nameless, definitely. Willie says, Tim, you have no idea how happy I am to see you, literally. Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, man, you had to have emergency surgery on your eye in Boston on Friday. Oh, my goodness. How you doing right now? Is it in pain, or has the pain gone away, my friend? And that really stinks that had happened to you. Oh, man. Yeah, our eyes are so important. Wow, Willie. Thank God you're okay. So, just gotta, everyone wish Willie a speedy recovery. We need him at 100% strength. That's all there's to it. So, we just gotta make sure that. Now, there are times, I'm gonna use a needle. There are times when, you know, it may billow underneath and you might have to just hold it down with a piece of eraser, a piece of the tip of a paintbrush or something to hold that. There we go. Yeah, sending prayers, my friend. Definitely. No pain. Hey, that's fantastic. So that's good. You must have a good doctor. Thank God, my friend. Still with the 1 second rule, right? Everything's 1 second rule, so important. And so that's, yes, that is a good part, living in all those medical universities there, right? So important, you know? Thank goodness for that. So once we go ahead and basically just get the contours and everything in the larger shapes in, then we could move on to other areas. And we just have to make sure that we're using the 1 second rule, not putting darks where light should be, right? That would really be a hassle. And that just means more work and trying to make things work later. Who wants that? Not me. Definitely. Yes, definitely got to protect the eyes. So true. So very true, guys. That is absolutely positively on the money. And, you know, just like in life, don't worry about the finish. You know, when you're working, just enjoy the process, everyone. You know, where you are, just try to enjoy it. Know where you're going and work hard to get there. But, you know, definitely don't curse the times of the beginnings, you know. Those are important. And when we look back, the beginning is usually the most fun. Isn't it? You know, if we really think about it. And I think the same is true with life and with painting, is that we just have to chill out and enjoy this stage. Don't don't be such a rush to get to that finish stage, you know? Finish is bittersweet, I think. So let's move down here. Let's make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And I think I am. There we go. Just getting the outline, everything pretty much where it needs to be, right? But yeah, you know, it's a lot of times, you know, things like our eyes, it's, you know, it's so amazing that we have it, yet we don't appreciate it when we do have it. And it's just so true. And we definitely have to be so thankful that we do have our eyes. I'm going to continue over here. I have a pretty low pressure here. And by no means am I ever thinking right in this early stage, hey, I'm going to finish this. No, I'm definitely, what I'm doing is I'm just going to try and just get a feel for it. That's all. So when I come back, I could definitely, you know, finish up. And but we just want to make sure that we don't forget the hand. Remember, we want to develop the whole picture at one time. And it's not like I'm going to finish it at, you know, work on the whole picture. But moving around is so crucial. It really is. That moving around is really going to be what's going to give it that unified feel of a fine art painting, as opposed to something that is very cold and mechanical. We don't want cold and mechanical, you know? And, oh, thanks. Patty says she really likes her eyes. I appreciate that. Air Todd says he hasn't got to play with the airbrush or inks lately. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is you doing a lot of work right now? Is that what it is, Todd? And that happens, you know? Don't reproach yourself. Sometimes, you know, we have to do other things. So I appreciate that. I know you'll get back into it. I'm not worried. These beautiful shapes in her gloves that the folds are making. You want to make sure you get those large shapes first, right? That's important. To get those large shapes. Oh, that's okay. Sometimes you're not in the mood, right? You know, that's okay. You can do other things, maybe digital art or something like that when you're not in the mood or something. That could be a good, you know, just do something that has to do with art, but make sure, you know, if you're not in the mood for one thing, pick a different medium, right? Go for something else. I think that would really be good. It's a good opportunity if you're feeling stale in, let's say, one area to, let's say, go ahead and, you know, go into digital art or go into watercolor or something like that. But keep those creative juices going. Keep them flowing. That's very important, right? So it's okay to, you know, want to have a little bit of break. But while you're having a break in, let's say, airbrush, go ahead and pick up another medium. Definitely. Oh, Todd says he still doesn't want to mess up the face. I understand, definitely. Mark says, and then his battle buddy was welding a boat at the time and didn't pay attention. Oh my God, is he okay? So Mike says he's in the same conundrum. The day job is taking up too much time, but is paying the bills. That's admirable. So, you know, so that you're doing a great thing there, Mike, and that's the main thing we have to focus, that you're working hard and paying the bills and taking care of what you need to take care of. So that is great. So I admire that, and so should you. You should be very, very, pleased with yourself, and I hope you are. And you'll get to the art. That's no question. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get to it. Just make sure you just give yourself a little break. That's all. And don't have that art guilt. That doesn't help. Guilt doesn't help in any way. So you just keep doing what you have to do. Maybe get a small sketchbook, Mike. That worked for me when I was working at Amazon. I had a small sketchbook. So in the empty times, either a lunch break or I was commuting via train, I would take out that sketchbook and I would just draw and have fun, And that made a big difference for me. It really did. And I think it could make a big difference for you. Just do whatever you can. Have when you have your morning coffee, do a little sketch or something like that. That works a lot. I'm going to be right back. Mike and everyone, I'm going to show you guys exactly, and plus I'm going to put the kettle on. So I'm going to show you guys my sketchbook technique, and when things get flat, I do that with my sketchbook, and it really does help. Oh yes, Paul, I'm going to send, yes, so definitely you should receive them real shortly on the inks, and I'm going to send you a lot of goodies, extras also with that. And so wait here, and I'll be right back. So I think you're going to love this. So I get these little sketchbooks. So this little sketchbook right here is a, let me make sure I keep my spot. So this is a little, like little Strathmore, Bristol, and I think it's 5.5 by 8, and what you can do is that you'll have your reference right here, right? And I'll take my reference, I'll print it out, and I'll put it off on this side and tape it with Scotch tape. And then on this side is like I have ready-made, I have my reference and I can paint. Now you can do this with airbrush, I did this with airbrush, or you can do it with pencil, you can do it with watercolor. But the main thing is that you are continuing to work, and that's what's really important, is that when you're doing small pieces like this, you're not so precious with it, so you can do some really cool, experiments and everything like that. So highly, highly recommend doing something like this. And it's like you can put this away, put it in your bag, and whenever you feel the urge or the time that you have, and you just go ahead and go to town. So I think that would help you guys. Thank you so much. And here's some others. Let's see, we have this one. Okay, so here's one I did in sepia probably about 2 years ago. You see I have my reference, and then I have my work there. And I did a Martin Luther King that way, and that's sold. So I actually sold paintings. Now look at this beautiful piece that I did. And it wasn't so precious, and I just had a great time. So here's my reference, and here was the painting I did. Now, one of the things you can do is you can take the color line paper, cut it into this size, and just tape it here. That's what I did here. So I was able to do the technique, you know. Yes, Blue says she always has an art go bag with her. That's so fantastic. So, so definitely. So it's something that you will definitely, you know, especially those times, even if you're in the studio and things are getting kind of bland, you know, because let's face it, we're always so worried about messing up and, you know, everything like that. And we have these little guys here, we're not so worried, right? I think that's what's happening. We're not so worried. So let's see what's in here. Did I do anything in here? I usually pick these up when I'm at the art store. There's some lessons I did while I was working. Let me see. Nope, there's nothing in. Oh, here we go. I even forget I did them. So here is one. I just had this picture and I just airbrushed that in. And I'll tell you, it's really, really important to loosen up and kind of experiment. And these little sketch pads, you know what? They really give you that freedom. So definitely when you're getting stuck, that means that, you know, you just have to loosen up a little bit. And so if you have any questions about that, you let me know. And oh, so you guys, yeah, a lot of you guys work out in the garage, and I admire that, you know. And definitely you all are troopers, and that's not easy working in a garage. But as long as we have a place to work, that's the great part. Okay, so you see I have a pretty good indication on this side here. And then let's see, I'm going to, okay, so I have the dark coming down here, over here, and then this kind of fades out. So now you can see I have the indication with this glove, and then I can come over to the other glove, and let's work on the other glove together. Oh, great. That's fantastic, Willie. That's something that I always talk about, is always make sure you have little sketches going on, because sometimes those little sketches, thank you so much, Paul. Sometimes those little sketches are really fantastic. They have more life into them than the stuff that we plan out. I don't know why, but I guess we're just less precious about it, right? So, you know, but definitely that's where the great ideas flow, when you're not worried so much. And that's, you know, what I said earlier in this live stream, is that, you know, we as artists, we have to make sure that we just enjoy the beginnings just as much as we enjoy, you know, putting the finishing touches on our paintings. Just as much. Try and spray away from the Mylar. That's always very good. Roy says you have to, and your wife doesn't want you painting in the house. I can understand that, definitely. And Mark says, how's the overspray in your home, Tim? Has the overspray made it to the kitchen yet? You know, I work with 25 PSI, and I even dial it down with the pack valve. So I don't have too much overspray. I'm working with very watered down, diluted India inks. But I remember when I used to work in acrylic, you know, with the golden, oh boy, that would really make a mess. So definitely know how that goes. It would make a mess. So definitely, you got to be careful with that overspray. And Nameless says, no, it's not easy. Lots of distractions. Basically a front door storage area, kitchen, 2 refrigerator out there. Oh wow. So just working, but it's all I got now. You know, I remember when I was a kid, I had the dining room table, and I couldn't work until after dishes were done, and I had my homework, but I did some of my most fun stuff there. You know, it really is. Sometimes the most challenging spaces just makes us really do some great things. So I'm going to go ahead and make my tea. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk about maybe some sketchbook ideas. I got mine at AC Moore. It's AC Moore is no more. That's where I purchased it. I'll be right back. Green tea time. My cat is usually yelling at me when I'm in the kitchen, but I guess she's taking a break today. I gotta watch out with the lemons. I could be putting all kinds of pits in my tea. That can't be good for the digestion. I don't know, but I don't think that's a good idea. So I just gotta make sure I don't get the pits. I gotta do a pitectomy here. Okay, so I got my tea, and that's not a bad thing. Been eating more vegetables lately. That's going well. I'm just being easy on myself. If I had 2 servings of of vegetables, that's progress. So that's how I'm looking at it. So let's see what I missed. Let's see. Let's see how everything is going. Okay, great. So here we are. I'm back. And so another thing, as I paint this other glove here, I want everyone to know that the live streams are really about you. So with that being said, I'm going to start doing some regular videos, like recorded videos. And so if you have any ideas right now, let me know. and I'd be glad to try and do a video addressing that. You know, could it be tip dry? Could it be PSI or something that really kind of bugs you and you're not getting answers? And let me know. You can always email me, timothy@paintinglyphs.com, and I can go ahead and work on a video for you, you know? Nameless subscriber says, how can you guys let the women run your house? You got to set the tone from day one. He said as he wondered why he's still single. You know, women are great, and I love them. But, you know, we all have to learn to live with each other. That's not easy on both sides. Yeah, it definitely isn't. I was married once in a past life. I love being married, actually. Didn't work out, but I did love me being married. But to say that it's easy, no way, Jose. It's not easy, that's for sure. It is not an easy endeavor. Oh, how to sharpen a needle. Okay, great. That's great. And Brad says, can you do one about pumping the trigger? Yes. Pumping the trigger. That's fantastic. Definitely. So that's great ideas, right? Mark says he did too. She left. Oh man. You know? Well, if she left, Mark, it's definitely her loss. That's how I see it. And Paul said, but she did get me a nice new exhaust fan. Hey, that's great. Look at that, Paul. See, there's silver linings there, right? Definitely silver linings. But there's nothing like sharing your life, honestly. Having good things happen is fantastic, but a lot of times when you don't have anyone to share it with, not as cool, But yeah, I agree. There are things that are trying, right? There are trials, I should say, when it comes to stuff like that, to say the least, right? It's like understatement of the year, Tim. I know. And let's see what else we have. Nameless subscriber says, sometimes when I pull the trigger, it comes loose and I have to loosen the needle chucking nut to readjust no matter how tight. Any thoughts on how this is happening? So sometimes, you know what it is? Your chucking nut could be way too tight. And sometimes when the chucking nut is way too tight, it actually will hold the needle. It could be something in here. What I really would suggest is do a thorough cleaning inside. What kind of airbrush is it, sir? Understanding is good. Yes, definitely. That's for sure. But I miss a lot of aspects of being married. I really do. I think. But being married, you could like being married, but if your partner doesn't like being married to you, it doesn't matter how much you enjoy it. It doesn't. That's a hard lesson, They have to be into it too. It's not a jury of one. So I'm just going to very loosely come over here and just get the edge work here, and then we'll come back later. Same thing here. I'm just going to get the edge work here. And okay, there's this little slit here. I'm just going to put that in. Alright, let's see what we have so far. It looks like we didn't do anything. Tim, you didn't do anything. I know, but I'm trying. That's all I have to say. Let's see, we're going to come over here, and we're in the beginning stages. the baby stages. So move these over. These little needles, magnets, you can just pull it up by using another magnet. I love October, late October, November. No air conditioning, no fans. It's really great. No motors of the fans going on. It's just so fantastic. And let's see. Gravity Feed Master Airbrush on the cheaper end. Okay, that could probably be the beginning of your issues there. You always have a loosening the part that holds the needle in place. Definitely. Here's a woman's point of view. So Blue says last relationship was apparently very one-sided for her. So she didn't think that she would be getting involved anytime soon. You know, it's always perfect to really wait for that life-changing person. And but before then, it's we have to be the life-changing person, right? That's important. And that's not easy, and that's something that I'm working on. I want to be my own life-changing person, but you know, that's something that is going to happen in time. But I really like how we did the gloves, right? Not bad, guys, right? Pretty good for just working that in right now. So we have to say, okay, Tim, what are we missing? I think we're missing the hair. I think if we start working on the hair right now, we can probably do some really nice things. Just to get it to the point where, well, it's good that you tried, Blue, and that's what we have to do. We have to be happy that we try and kind of venture out. That's important. Oh, Mark says he's thankful for his last ex, and she was a good woman and made it easy. That's great. So yeah, you know, we can look back and we can say, we hate them, you know, or we can just be like, hey, it didn't work out. Wish you luck, but, you know, say to ourselves, we deserve happiness, right? We deserve, you know, we deserve someone who has our back, you know. I remember I did a post on Facebook, you know, I'm looking for a woman who makes my enemies afraid, and that's what I am looking for. Somebody who basically is going to have my back, and someone's going to be like, wow, I'm not going to talk bad about the other person when they're there. I think that's what's really amazing relationship. That's rare. That is so rare. Okay, so look now. So I'm having I'm going to basically mask off all the background. And now I want to mask off her face and the gloves so I can work on the hair. And I think that might be a good idea. So let's see if we can go down that road. So we're going to find the face only shield right here. It's like a puzzle. It's fun. We're going to put that right there. But again, you know, when we were talking about this painting, you know, don't despise the days of small beginnings, because the days of small beginnings are really a lot of times the most important. So, you know, we really have to address those small beginnings when we have them, because if we don't, it's going to come back to bite us in the neck. Of course, hindsight is always 20/20, right? That's true. Okay, so see, we have the glove stencil right here. Bam! Look at that, fits right in there. Okay, so getting happy that that the preparations are working together, right? You want the preparations to fall into place, you know. And that's so important, you know, is to plan it out in a way where, and also if you see a little hair there, you want to get rid of it. Okay. Okay, that fit right into place. Bam! That's wonderful. So basically what I'm going to do, we're going to work on the hair a little bit. And we just don't want to contaminate different edges and everything. Right here, however, we have her arm here. And how are we going to protect that arm? That's a good question. So I think I have a good way of doing it rather than cutting, mylar. So here's something good. When you keep everything the same size, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a printout, and I want to save this, right? That's going to be very, very important, right? Let's see. Oh, here's a question. Todd says, Tim tried to set the trigger like you did on the video, but I'm not sure it's correct. I feel I have trouble sometimes with the PSI. Well, the main thing, Todd, is to get that PSI on the money, right? That's job one. So we have to make sure we get that taken care of, right? And what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to print out my line drawing right now. Let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to print it out on regular paper, and we're going to cut it, and this way we're going to protect this because it's a nice light area, so we want to protect it. I know it's not a live stream where guns are blazing and I'm going forward, yay, Preparation is so important, like building a skyscraper, right? You don't want to, build it, hey, I did it in 3 weeks, but, you can't live in it. Same difference is that we really want to plan it out for working beautifully, right? That's how we want to plan it out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to print this out. I'm not sure if I still have paper in there. We'll find out in a second. I'll get an error message saying out of paper, but I haven't. So that's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a sip of our green tea, which is extremely hot. I can't sue McDonald's because I made it, but what I'm going to do is, says, let's see. And I think I closed it. Okay. All right, so we're in business, so hold on right there. I'm going to go get, hey, Roy Ludecki, how's it going? I got your order for the ink, and the other items, so they're going out real soon. I really appreciate that, sir. I'll be right back with some extras. So the moral of this part of the story is, everybody, that I want you to really plan it out and to think 7 moves ahead, like chess. Willie plays chess as I do, and he knows that, a good chess opening, you know what you're going to do in the first 6 moves. Of course, you're going to vary that if a player does something different. However, it is you can really set the tone and the tempo, even if you're using the black pieces and moving second. If you have a good opening, you could really set the tone and really kick some butt. So I'm a real proponent, is that the word, proponent, of being somebody that is going to know what I'm going to do at least 5 moves ahead. And I actually go ahead and translate that into my airbrush work. So here you see this, right? Now what I can do, which is so cool, is I can cut this out and I could use that as a little shield. So let's make this happen. So in chess, you're doing a opening if you're the white pieces. If you're the black pieces, you're doing a defense. So, but my thing is, even when I'm in defense, I want to go ahead and be the aggressor. And how I do that is by having a set plan and have the other player react to me, right? So what we're doing is we're reacting to any issues before they happen. So you're just like, Tim, what do you mean by that? So with experience, I know that overspray is a real problem, right? So I am going to attack the overspray before it happens. So it has to react to what I did. Same thing. I'm going to work on something that everyone has problems with, and that is control. So I'm going to thin down my inks and create a viscosity that just flows perfectly out of the airbrush. So the airbrush or the problem reacts to me as opposed to me reacting to it. And it's a constant battle. You know, it's a constant battle. We're always reacting. So there's always a new issue coming up, right? That's definitely the case. There's always a new issue coming up. So we're always reacting. Like defense is always reacting to the offense. The offense is always reacting to the defense in football. New schemes, new defense packages, all those different things are so very, very crucial in having a successful attack. And like I said, knowing what you're doing 6 moves ahead, you're going to really, really have an edge. And you know what? Those who try to emulate you or whatever, that's fine. Let them emulate you. But the beauty of it is that while they're doing that, you're changing again. So they're going to constantly be playing catch up if they're copying you. So always evolve, always change, always get more sophisticated with your tools, with your methods, with everything. And learn from your past mistake, everybody. Learn from it. Write it down. What worked, what didn't work. So important. I just can't express it so much. I can't express it enough. I can't express it so much. What am I talking about? Okay, so now we're going to bring back Villanelle. Here we go. And sorry I haven't been answering your questions just yet, but I just got to make sure I concentrate on this aspect right here. Look how that fits so perfectly. Oh, it's so great. It's nice when the plan works, doesn't it? But now I have this white of the arm, which I didn't put in yet. Wow, look at that. So now it's protected. And so when I'm busy doing all this stuff and really concentrated, feel free to talk amongst yourselves or answer your question. I'll try and get to it. Okay, so now we have to lighten this up. The beauty of DSLR live streams, I can change things like that. So let's see what I missed here. So let's see. So Nameless says, hate when valves are attached to the airbrush. Get the ones attached to the hose, or just pinch the hose like I do, old school trick. You know, whatever you're used to is always good, but I love, love, love to have the pack valve right here because it's so close to the air source. I can make some really micro adjustments as I'm holding the air down, right? So I'm painting, I'm holding the air down, and I'm adjusting. Oh, it's so great. So that's if you ever want to try the Xtreme Patriot arrows, it really is fantastic. So Mr. Payne says 20. I have a video out there where I say 25 psi, set it and forget it, and then adjust at the pack valve. That's my technique. And someone says that life's a box of chocolates. That's interesting. Willie says he has to get to sleep. Yes, Rest.I, my friend. I hope you have a great night. Always a pleasure. And I hope you and your family have a great weekend. And, when you get a chance, just, fire up that compressor when you get a chance. And don't worry if you can't from one day to the next. You just keep the ideas going and flowing. And, get that pencil out if you need. So that's always great. The valve is in his way of his fingers. So Mark says the valve's in the way of his fingers. I can understand that. And Patty says, hey, gang, going to catch up later. Have a great rest of the week. Patty, have a great night. Always a pleasure. Don't work too hard, okay, tomorrow? I know you get up early in the morning. And Nameless says, Blue, it's just faster and less parts. Don't have to worry about air leaks. I can understand. We all have our preferences, right? Okay, so now, again, just like in chess, I set up my pieces and now I can attack, right? So that's what I'm talking about, is that we can actually go ahead. I have my opening and now I can attack. And I'm prepared for things that might have happened if I did not have those moves ahead, that I'm working several moves ahead. So I'm going a little slower than normal because a lot of you are all following along with me. If anyone wants the picture that I'm working from, I can go ahead and send it. Just give me an email to paintedglyphs@gmail.com, okay? And I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Okay, hair. Let's go. Let's make this hair happen. Okay, so we still have the detail mix in here. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to worry about the large shapes right now. See that? And we're going to have some mid-tones and some darks. And look at those. It's almost like you get free trumpet lessons here as well with the Mylar. So, you can always take your magnets, put it there, and see that, and then just hold it down. It's kind of like it's escaping underneath, which is not a good thing. So if you hear that noise, it's not a good thing. So you just gotta get a magnet and push it over. Now, kind of tricky. Sometimes it'll roll up, so you have to make sure that it's in place properly. And let's continue making this happen. Remember, large shapes, right? Large shapes. That's what we're worried about. It's all about the large shapes. There we go. Hair is something that you're going to be working on from the very beginning of the painting to the end of the painting. That's something that you work as you go. So don't try and finish it at one time. It's almost like trying to read War and Peace in one night. You'll get there. You just have to pace yourself. Going to put a very light mist over it because even though her hair is blonde, it actually is kind of dark, even in the lights. And then we'll erase. Definitely distinctive noise. Nameless says, trumpet lessons? Now I'm going to think about that. That's funny. Yes, and so definitely it's important to keep a good sense of humor while you're working and just enjoy yourself. Usually painting's a very solitary affair, and we just we have to make ourselves laugh as much as we can. Always remember, painting is fun. Don't let it not be fun. It really is. Painting is just fun. Keep it fun for you, not for anybody. Okay. I'm going to make sure that we stay away from her hairpin. There's a nice dark area here. Move this over here. Just going to do some of the large shapes and we'll build on that later down the line. Like I said, all the planning comes together. You know, I haven't even looked up at what time it is yet. I've been so involved in this live stream. We're at 10:30, so we're at the 1 hour mark. That tea's very good. I put too much sugar in it, but you know what? I haven't got to the point where I can drink without sugar. Can't do that yet. Maybe I'll get there one day. But I'm trying to lower my sugar as well. So, see, we're all a work in progress. So definitely, I like the idea that Brad says of pumping the trigger. So that's going to be an idea of why that's like Airbrush 101 for me, is learning to pump the trigger. And I'll really go into it in depth. And I'm going to start it tomorrow, I think. Never too much sugar, Paul says. That's how I feel. I'm right there with you, Paul. Definitely. I do love sugar, so, you know, I am guilty. Guilty as charged. Just the large shapes. We'll get to the small shapes. There's no rush, right? We'll get to the smaller shapes, but let's just work on those larger shapes. Beautiful darks going on over here. Let's make sure we address this. These beautiful darks. Always spray away from your shields, you know, or your stencils. Always spray away from them, because if you spray towards them, you're gonna kind of creep underneath, and then you're going to have overspray. And the whole thing is, you know, fighting the overspray. You know, that's one of the main things, because if you have too much overspray, what's going to happen is that your painting is going to have that airbrush look. You know, you don't want your work to have, if you're working in pastel, you don't want a pastel look. If you're working in oils, you don't want to have an oils look. You want to have the look of your model of what you're doing. You want the medium to bend to our will, right? We don't want to bend to it. So we don't want to have it, oh, I can see it's an airbrush painting from a mile away. It's a bad sign, not a good thing. And let's go over here. We have this nice dark shape over here. Oh, and like here we have a nice dark shape, so let's pull one of our magnets from up here, reassign it over here, and let's go ahead and hit some of these darks. Pa-pow! Okay, move this down, and let's attack this. So one of the things I find in airbrush and pastel, even in drawing, unless you're doing quick sketches, it's all about planning, right, everybody? It's all about careful planning. I think I ran out of, I just sprayed on my Mylar. So I ran out of, do I have any more in here? Yes, I'm okay. It's about careful planning and execution in the beginning, about setting up. The freehand stuff comes way later, right? Comes way, way later. And so here I'm spraying on the background. You got to make sure that you know where you're spraying. You don't want to spray on the Mylar. It is invisible, so you want to make sure that you know you're spraying on the paper or the canvas or the board. You know, always have that awareness of where you're working. So you see right now we're working on the hair a little bit more. Nugget salt is definitely an amazing thing. Isn't salt wonderful? Definitely. I hear you, Nameless. I love it. And Total Pain says he has his coffee black with no sugar. Yes, you and Mr. Roy, you're the cowboys in the house. You guys drink. You drink it like in a dirty cup and everything, like the cowboys, you know, like in those metal cups at the campfire. So let's see what we have here. Let's see. Never too much sugar. Oh, the Wheel of Pain. Yes. So the wheel is not today. I have to catch up with the ones that won and get them out because it's unfair. So I'm getting all the packages ready and sending it out, and then we'll do that again. So that's cool. So yes, that muddy look, definitely, Mark. Nameless subscriber says it isn't called overspray when it goes under the stencils, and overspray when it just disperses over the areas of the paper. I think anywhere where the airbrush sprays you don't want it to be is overspray. It goes over, and that's my own opinion, Nameless. So yeah, so you want to really worry about any kind of overspray, anything where the ink or the paint's not supposed to be, you know. And Mark says he has some magnets, same color as mine, but they are pure black, and goes to show you your control over mine. Oh, I see. You know, I do sometimes get them dark, and what I do is I go ahead and clean these. So don't worry, you're not alone. I go ahead and my magnets get pretty dirty. I just got to make sure when I'm done for the day that I wipe them, because you don't want to have ink on there and then go there. Like even dried ink is going to really make you upset. So definitely understand where you're coming from there, my friend. I do the same thing. Okay, so you see this nice black, this dark area here. Oh, look at that. We're going to go ahead and get that. Some of these dark areas right here. Sometimes your magnet's going to make a shadow. Just make sure you move that magnet so it doesn't obscure your working area, okay? As always, we are just working on the big shapes. We'll get to the smaller shapes when we get there. You know, even at this early stage, there could be some uses for your freehand shield. If you see like, you know, a light hair going across a dark area, you can use your freehand shield, like right here. And just to keep that edge, so you can definitely do that from time to time. You don't want to go crazy with it, but you can use it when you need it. Smoke them if you got them, that's what they say. And you see now I'm just doing the groundwork, and then over time we're going to stencil leakage. That sounds interesting, that's funny. Let's see, Blue says, how many times do you usually add ink into your cup during a feed? Or do you fill your... No, I usually lift... I never go more than halfway, because unless I'm doing a background. If I'm doing a background, then I bring out this bad boy, which is the Xtreme Patriot 105, customized by myself. Has the same control as this, but with the big cup. So if I'm doing backgrounds or something, this is always good. I never fill it up to the brim, because if you do, there's more of a chance of a disaster, especially me who works horizontal. I'm really having the airbrush, you know, almost upside down sometimes. So yeah, so definitely don't have to fill up that cup. Halfway is about as most I do. Mark has to go. It's great to see you, Mark. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I hope to see you next week, Mark. And if you have any questions during the week, and, you know, something comes up, just send me an email. And I'll do my best to answer any technical questions you have, you know. So you have a great night, and don't work too hard, and a fantastic weekend. So Nameless says, Tim, you ever find yourself having to use back pressure to clean your nozzle with the inks? I never do that. I'll tell you why. You mean like putting something there and then it bubbles the cup? The main thing that's so important is to clean your airbrush really quickly. If working with the inks, if you clean it very quickly with just distilled water, you're gonna have a great time because it's gonna clean really well, and you're gonna use a Q-tip, but you want to have like the cheap CVS Q-tips that aren't so fuzzy, and you get in there and you clean it. But water seems very well. Sometimes you could use, if it gets a little, if it ever, is a little more stubborn, which is very rare. Sometimes when I'm using the dark mixture, I can see that. But the thing is that it's all about, staying on top of your airbrush. If we stay on top of it, we're not really going to have too much trouble, with stubborn, getting that, really dirty airbrush that's stubborn. So definitely keep that in mind. So you have to keep on it and be real diligent. And believe me, at the end of the night, I just want to go to bed, and I know how it is, and sometimes, a lot of times I have to force myself, like, you better clean that airbrush, Tim. But I don't like doing the back flushing too much, because with the back flushing, we have, you have needle packing in your airbrush, which is like a piece of brass and plastic, and I feel if you're pushing back, you're sending the pressure the wrong way, and you can just jostle that needle packing just a little bit, and that could affect the centering of your needle, and then your airbrush is just going to work just a little bit screwed up to annoy you. And the only way to fix that is to get a really small screwdriver, pull everything out, and then try to adjust that needle packing. So yeah, that's no fun. So that's why I definitely don't do the back flushing. Just some things I found to be real detrimental for me. But if it works for you and you haven't any problem, I'm okay with that, definitely. Whatever works for you. I can only talk about my own experiences and how I solve them, so don't always guys take what I say as, this is the only way. No, there's so many ways, and there's a lot of teachers, and by no means am I saying my way or the highway. We all have, and I learned from my students, I learned from looking at other painters, some fantastic painters out there. Oh my God, just fantastic and great, and airbrush artists, and thank you for those guys because they really helped me along in my journey, my airbrush journey. So as you can see, we're just very loosely doing our blueprint, and it looks like we're doing nothing tonight, but we really are, So we really are doing a lot. So now, I am spoiled with the inks, I'll have to tell you. The India inks just work wonderful, and I don't have to worry about, acrylic and building up of acrylic and having that plastic dry up in my airbrush. So those are the advantages. And those are distinct advantages. Those are huge advantages, not little advantages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this up and see what we have. And then we'll go from there. So let's see. I don't want to go too crazy with the hair, just some indication, and then we'll go from there. So let me put back on my border. Like I said, remember the theme of today, don't despise the days of small beginnings. So, this is the beginning, it doesn't look much, but this is like the most important part when we're planning it out and we're doing things. Look at this. See how beautiful I kept that, right? Because that's her arm. So if I left that there, I would have gotten some ugly overspray on there. So yeah, so taking the time to do that is not as cool but it's going to help you in the long run. Because these decisions of, planning it out ahead of time are the things that are going to help you throughout the next, 8 hours of the painting. And isn't that amazing, that you can do things now that's going to help you 8 hours from now of painting. So let's see what we have. Okay, we kept the face nice and clean. So we have the gloves. And let's move this glove out of the way. And then the background. So you see we worked on the hair a little more. Now what we can do, dun dun dun, let's get bold, right? Let's start working in the background. So this way everything is really going to be covered. One of my teachers said once you cover everything with pastel or oils, that's when the painting really starts to begin, because then you have everything covered and then you can work on the relationships. So that's what we're really striving for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cover everything except for the background. We're going to work on the background. It's a very pragmatic approach, but I think if I'd rather be planning it out than kind of, going in guns blazing, and hopefully there's not a bandito, hiding behind the barrel is going to shoot me. So the same thing is I want to definitely be very deliberate about everything. So as you can see, we have to cover her like so. And right here, I feel that I can cut this out. And what I'm going to do, since I have this paper here, so let's move this aside. Again, more planning, right? Because if I don't plan it out, if I see something happening down the line and I don't go ahead and work on it, that's going to come back to haunt us, right? So let's come back to here. Right, and what I want to do is, see right here we can see that when we put in the background, now how are we going to do this? That's the question. Oh, okay, the shield. The shield tells us. So here's the shield, and all right. I figured it out, guys, believe it or not. I figured it out. So we're going to take the shield and we're going to put this over, right? Just like so. And then what we want to do is we want to cut inside here. Because if we look at the picture, we look at the drawing, it cuts into here like so. And you know what? I think it's close enough. I was thinking of, we could always adjust as we go. So I think I'm making things a little more difficult than I need to. But, okay. So let's put this shield here. I think I'm going to peel it up over there because I don't want a hard edge that, I don't want to create a hard edge that I don't need, that I'm just going to have to fight down the line. So let's go ahead and cover her. And this is tricky because this is like a positive. So you want to really make sure that we're on the money with the stencil. On the money is crucial. Okay. I think we're good. Let's make sure we get the corners so that she doesn't move. And so I know you all are following along. Those who are following along, how's it going? How are you keeping up? I know I'm working extra slow today for yous. Okay. Now I also want to save my board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some scrap paper. And I always have scrap paper laying around the house. So laying around the studio. Let's see. Where else? Make sure I'm not using scrap paper that's a really important address on it or something. I've done that in the past. Okay, so we don't want to ruin our paper. So we don't want to ruin our board. So we're just going to sneak this underneath as so. There we go, just sneak that underneath. Same thing over here. We'll just sneak this underneath. Let's see. With this. There we go. Again, everybody, preparation, you know? Let's do that extra couple of seconds of preparation. It's going to help us. Trust me. Okay. And let's do the same on this side. Oh, Brad says he's close to where I am, which is very cool. And Nameless Subscriber says the Chinese believe that everything takes 10 minutes to learn and a lifetime to master. Oh man, I love that. Yes, I love it. One of the things that I love to quote, those who have taken my classes, I say this all the time, is that the great painter Titian from Venice in the 1500s, he said that it takes a lifetime to learn to paint and another lifetime to paint. What do you all think about that? Do you agree that it takes a lifetime to learn how to paint? I agree. I think I'm always learning. I'm never really happy with where I am, right? Never really happy with where I am. And I'm always striving to get better. And just crucial. Crucial. So, okay, so I have this here. And now I'm going to work on the background. I'm going to take some of my magnets. I don't want any creeping underneath, right? No bellowing. Like a sail, bellows. Bellows, I'm not sure. Okay, so about 6 inches away. When you're 6 inches away, I want you to pretend that your airbrush is on the rail. So you can't go 7 inches, you can't go 5 inches. You're stuck at 6 inches, okay? And you just want to if you keep yourself at the same distance, you are going to have a very even, a very beautiful gradation. You're not going to have all kinds of blotchiness. Maybe in the very beginning it might be a little bit, but as you do one layer, let it dry. Definitely let it dry. That's an important part of the equation here, everybody. Let it dry, okay? Let me pull this up here so you can see. So you all see how much I prepared with all the paper and everything on the side. 6 inches. Pretend you're on a rail, or there's a piece of plastic that keeps you from going closer or far away. That you're stuck at 6 inches from your surface. So we're just going to continue this. And my video is going to be about pumping that trigger. So I'm out of detail mixture. Let me go ahead and put that in now. I don't know if you can see, but it's, let me see if I could focus. I'm about halfway filled. I really can't focus it to show you, but I'm definitely halfway filled on that. And even though I'm going to be, you know, doing a large area, I'm just going to do halfway. Then I'm going to come in with the light mixture, and I'm going to go a little bit darker. But now right here is interesting, because remember right here, let me see if I can get under it. What can I use to get under it? Maybe a pencil, or this razor blade, or this little guy. Let's see. I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to be 6 inches away, but what I want to do is I want to make sure that I don't have too much of a hard edge here. So I'm just going to lift that up as I come along here. See that? I'm going to continue doing that as I work, because I don't want that to be too hard edged. They keep your 6 inches distance. Let this area dry. Now I can come over here, and I'm going to do this until I run out of ink, and I'm going to move on over to the light mixture. And when I move over to the light mixture, I'm actually going to go ahead and get out my customized Xtreme Patriot 105. Okay. Get those edges, because sometimes we don't catch the edges for some reason. Don't know why. Maybe it's just me. It's just you, Tim. Could be. I'm going to peel this up, and I'm just going to continue with that here. Just don't want a hard edge down there. I'm going to get a hard edge, but at least it's not going to be as hard edge as I do that. Okay, so you see, we're getting there. It's not... So Brad says, what about the outer lines? Do I erase them first? Not at all, because we're working in pencil. And also, this is not acrylic. If you were doing this in acrylic and you had pencil lines, I'd say, yes, Brad, get rid of those pencil lines. But since we're working in airbrush and India ink, we have the secret weapon. Pencil lines are not ever trapped under India ink. They are trapped under Createx, Golden, other acrylics, but never trapped under my India inks. P.H. Martin's, yes, the pencil lines are trapped. What's the other brand? Winsor & Newton, they have inks, and yes, it's trapped underneath. But since my inks are you know, diluted and there's some additives to it, it actually allows you to, even after you put it down, to erase. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Okay, so I'm going to put a little more detail mixture in this airbrush. I don't want to leave it dry, right? You don't want to leave your airbrush sitting dry. So even though I'm going to be using the other airbrush, I'm going to reload the detail mixture in this airbrush for the next stage. Okay, so now I'm going to get this beautiful thing here, and make sure you take this off. Have you ever not taken this off and pressed it down? It's like it's a projectile, and that was scary. That happened a few times with me. Oh, I gotta get the hose. Okay, now hose number 2. And we're going to put the light mixture in there. Dun dun dun. Where is the light mixture? Got detail, I got white, I got dark. And we will find it. Let's see. Let's see. I think it's over here. Medium mixture. We're getting warm. I think things are, we're definitely close to what we need here. Let's see. I am going to have to, I do have some light mixture over here. I have to get a new bottle. So remember what I said about art supplies? That using your art supplies, it's a badge of courage, and that just means that, you know, we're working, and that's a great thing. So here I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with the light mixture about halfway. Once this is done, I'm going to probably come in with the medium mixture. And you see, I'm not getting any kind of warping. It's I'm letting it dry before I go over the next layer. A lot of times, this is happening to me lately. I'm pressing down and no air is coming out, and I'm like, what in the world's going on? And what I'm finding out is that I have my chair on my hose. So you just test it out, you know. It's, let's see, right over here. See the fine lines we can get? It's just so beautiful. Test out the airbrush. You don't want to find out it's not working right on your painting, right? Okay, so let's stand up. And we're going to start over here. Let's put another magnet here. Okay, let's make this happen. 6 inches away. Okay, 6 inches. You want to spray and move. You want to stay in the same area. You can always come back a second layer and clean that up. So don't you worry. Raise the air pressure a little bit. There we go. Nice atomization. Again, 6 inches away, and I am not varying it. I'm not going 6, then 5, then 7, then 4.5. When you do that, you're going to get different intensities, and you're going to have a very blotchy, horrible background. Spray away from the mylar or the paper, whatever you're using as your shield. Always spray away. You have a little blotchiness, you're going to come back, so don't worry about it. Don't get hung up on it. I'm going to do this again. I don't want a hard edge there. I'm going to get a hard edge, but by doing this, I'm going to get a lot less of a hard edge, right? So okay, so you see I did the whole thing, and now I can come back down to the beginning because this side is dry. 6 inches, I'm just going to go over that area once and then just come up, spraying away from the mylar. Just like so. Forgive me, I'll answer your questions or comments. Right now I just have to concentrate on this part. Just want to make sure I stay at 6 inches away. Very important. And that goes for anything. Whatever you're doing, pick a distance and stay with it if you're painting an area. Okay, see? Still concentrating on not getting this too wet. I'm not getting the paper too wet. So when I come back here, this side is dry already because I'm just doing one coat. Not getting too saturated. Hit and move, right? Hit and move. Now I'm going to continue this until I have a desired darkness. So I'm going to use everything that's in here in this larger cup of the 105. And once I'm done, I'm going to come in with the medium mixture, hit it with a couple of coats, and go from there, you know? And it's great because doing it slowly and from a distance that is constant, you are definitely getting a beautiful, even coat. Move this away a little bit. There we go. And as you can see, I'm getting, my magnets are getting dirty as well. And I'm going to clean them. I'm going to have to. This is going to look pretty dark, but it really isn't. It's not dark at all. We're just going to slowly get there. See how much I have in here. Okay, we still got plenty of ink here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of more layers, and then from there I'm going to actually dump out some of this light mixture because it's spreading longer than I thought it would. This 105 holds a lot of ink and paint. If you work larger, my customized Xtreme 105 is a great airbrush to have in your arsenal. Because with the, with this light mixture, I can only go so dark. Let me pull this up. Move this magnet out of the way. Just keep that from getting too hard-edged over there. Okay, so one more pass and then we're going to go and I don't need my glasses for this. One more pass and I am going to go ahead and go in with the medium mixture. Now it's really getting nice coverage, really nice coverage. And any pencil lines that might have been outside of the edges, they're now, almost, you can't see them. They're almost invisible. Got a little wet there. Okay, so just let it dry. Don't get emotional with the paints. When it's you got a little wet, you can take your, if it's any on the Mylar, you can just tap it and you see there's really nothing there. But if you get too wet, whatever you do, don't touch it. If it's on the Mylar, then you could use the paper towel to dry it. But again, I'm staying at 6 inches away and just working on And I think I pretty much went as far as I can go with this light mixture in here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump out this and I'm going to put in my medium mixture. Not too much in there. Now when you're going from light to dark, when you're going to a light mixture and you're going darker like to the medium mixture, you don't have to clean it out. But if you're going, let's say, from a darker mixture to a light mixture, then at that point, you're going to actually, you're going to have to clean out the airbrush because the darker color is going to contaminate the lighter color. Okay, so I'm going to fill this up halfway. I'm going to spray it out, get rid of some of the light mixture that might be in the beginning part of the airbrush here. And, oh, thank you so much. So the Nameless says, the airbrush Nerf gun. That's funny. Colette says, Brad, those lines are my training wheels. Yes, the training wheels, definitely, Colette. And Paul says, amen, cuz I just started his first portrait 2 days ago. It's sort of elementary. Oh, great, fantastic. Always send, if you have any questions, always send them my way. Okay, Paul? I'm always happy to help. Okay, medium mixture. Let's test it out. Everything looks good. Okay, here comes medium mixture. Same thing, 6 inches away. I'm just going to hit and move. Hit and move. Hit and move. That's what we're going to do. Look at that, we're at 11:12 already. This was a very fun live stream. I feel it was a blessed live stream, so thank you so much for being a part of it. I really appreciate everybody. So we have a good 18 minutes to go, but I think a lot of that's going to be dedicated to making this dark. So let's see here. Get underneath. We're just going to put a little here just to help us out a little bit. We'll figure out what to do with that at a later time. See, it could be getting too wet here, so I'm going to stay away from that. Remember, we have a lot of layers to go, so it's no big deal to, wait on it. Where was I getting a little bit of the, okay, right here. If you see it's getting a little wet, stay away. Come back, reassess. Again, see how everything is dry. If you feel it might be getting a little wet, you can always just take your airbrush and blow some air on there. Kind of speeds up the drying process. And then we repeat. This is so messy, that's why I put the paper everywhere, because overspray happens. And I just don't want it to be all over my table and everything. Normally I would be wearing a mask during a stage like this, but since I'm doing this demonstration in a live stream, I'm not, but normally I would be. Granted, the working in India ink is immensely safer than working in Createx. Immensely, like crazy amount of safer, because it's just basically carbon or soot and water and a tiny bit of shellac, which gives it the waterproof properties. So there really is not much in here. There are a few added things that I put in the airbrush to slow down the tip dry, but that's all natural as well. So I'm not saying it's healthy to breathe this stuff in, but as far as airbrushing, it's probably the healthiest because there's no pigment in there. And pigment is the stuff that we have a hard time getting rid of our bodies. So It's actually better, this stuff. See, now we're starting to get a nice, even coat here, which is good. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Blue. Thank you. And we're going to do another member. I know I'm losing viewers on this live stream, but, you know, just realize, if nothing else, you know, using viewers as far as getting bored with me painting in this background, this is so important to show you that the background happens in many, many layers. What are we in, like layer 7 or 8 maybe? Maybe even further, right? Honestly, I think we are. Still staying at 6 inches. I can always come back to this, right? I can always revisit this and make the background darker. No one says we can't. There's no rules that we can't. Move this aside. Let's come over here. And just darken this. Whoop. Whoop. Go. Make sure we do the edges. I have another border of Mylar, and I'm going to clean this one off because this is going to be super dirty, and I'm going to clean off my definitely clean off my shield that's covering her, covering Jodie there. Hit and move, right? Hit and move. That's so important. We don't want to stay in one area. We don't want to oversaturate. Hit and move, hit and move. It's going to come back to it. So you see, we'll put some more air on there. We'll dry that off. See, this is paper. This could definitely, but see the technique that I'm doing. I'm not oversaturating the paper. It's working just like if I was working in metal or wood. I'm not getting any warping, any pooling or anything like that because I'm taking my time. I'm 6 inches away and I'm hitting and moving. I'm not trying to get the dark right away. See that? And right now I'm in the medium mixture. Remember, I started with detail, moved to light. From light I went to medium. Beautiful. And there we go. So I might go a little bit darker. We're still at 11:18, so we have some time. And Colette says, Paul, she's still working on the patience thing. We all are, Colette, definitely. You're doing really well, by the way. And Paul says, he learned layers take forever. And you got to be patient, Paul says, for it to come together. Fishing lures. Yes, I remember you mentioning that. So you definitely have to have patience for the translucent effect that you get, you know, with doing the lures, right? I love that. You know, you have to make it look like fish gills. So yeah, I'd love to see some examples of your work, Paul, when you get a chance. You know, just email me. I'd love to see them. And that's great. Oh, Paul, John Total Pain puts on music. Yes, music is great. Or I'll put on a documentary, or I'll watch Shark Tank or something like that on Hulu, and that helps, you know? Yeah, we definitely need to have a comfortable environment. So true. We're really making those inks really dirty. Oh boy. I'm not the ink, but the magnet's really dirty. That's okay, they clean really well. Okay, so here's the thing. I am done with my medium mixture. Dun dun dun. So that means we're coming in with Darth Vader, the dark mixture. So let's go ahead and spray out all of our medium mixture. And here comes the dark mixture. We're only going to do a couple of layers here. But we're definitely going to up the ante a little bit. Up the ante, you know? And so what kind of music do you all like listening to when you're painting? I'm kind of, I love 90s alternative, but what about you all? And I love classical. We're going to have some super hard edges that we're going to have to contend with down the line. No worries, we can fix it. So now we have this dark mixture. We definitely up the ante. Dark mixture is very close to ink out of the bottle. But still, diluted a lot. But with that dark mixture, we're really going to come in and really get in some dark values here. So right there I have been darkening that area up for quite some time during the painting, so I'm going to have a lot less of an issue when I have to assimilate that edge. Look how nice and dark this is getting. We built this up together. You know, we definitely built it up slowly, but you can see when we lift this up, it's going to be as if there was black paper. It's going to be beautiful. Remember, we're getting all of our chess pieces in line to attack. That's the idea. You know, the idea is definitely, you know, setting up for our approach for victory. And I think we'll do one or two more passes. Oh, yes. So Paul says, yes, she's going to be popping with the highlights of the hair. Oh, definitely. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Colette likes classical, blues, jazz, rock, and big band. Yes, Glenn Miller Band. That's amazing. And country western. Roy likes country western, which is very, very cool. And I like some great country western stuff. Like I like Mark Chestnut a lot. He's really good. Yeah, some really good stuff out there. Shania Twain, she was fantastic. She started out country western, right, Shania? I first seen her on a country western channel when I was living in Florida. I was like, who's this girl? She's amazing. And so that's how I found her before she became pop. She was definitely a country western queen. She had on the cowboy boots and the jeans. Oh boy, she was something. She was something. Okay, so look at that. So you can see that's a good caveat for you to learn by. Right here, the magnet actually moved over a little bit, and that caused a little bit of an issue. So we'll fix that. But that's something you want to be careful of. And I think I'm going to be done with this layer. We're going to call it done. And then we're going to move on. But actually, we're probably just going to call it the evening because it's 11:25. But let's go ahead and blow some air over this. And then we'll do the reveal of how dark actually this looks. And how much work we have to do to fix these edges. So we're going to see that we'll have work to do. So let's go ahead and lift this up. Be careful not to move the mylar from side to side or something like that because it could be wet with ink. So just tread lightly. Let's see. Okay, how are we going to do this? Just sort of wrinkle it like this. Okay, so there you see, we thought we were dark and now look how light we actually are. But you can see now we have, and you see how I went ahead and kept working in there because I didn't want that hard edge, and that actually worked to soften it. So not bad, right? Oh, 60s and 80s rock. 80s rock was great, yes, definitely. I'm a big U2 fan. Went to see those guys in concert. That was great. That was fantastic. So now you see we are definitely set up to go in and really start attacking this painting. And so we are definitely going to finish for the night, but the thing is, because I have to clean these magnets. These magnets, if I don't go ahead and wipe them off when I redo them on my artwork, it's going to be a disaster. So how I know that? Because I've done it several times. So I'll remove the border, see how the border looks. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, not bad, not bad. We're doing good, right? What do you think, guys? Are we doing okay? So not bad. We are definitely set up. And those pencil lines that we were worried about, Brad, they're gone. They're obliterated. So don't worry about the pencil lines. But you remember, hey Chris, how's it going? Good to see ya. Wow, Shania has an identical twin sister. Holy cow, Chris. How's it going, Chris? How you doing? I tried to IM you a while ago. When you get a chance, either email me or IM me. I got a few things to go over with you, my friend. Good things, definitely. I want to share some stuff with you, Chris. And let's see here. Nameless says she knows all too well. Never clean my magnets or French curves. Oh yeah, we have to clean them up there. Nameless, they're going to come back to haunt us. And so that's really rough. Smooth jazz. Roy likes smooth jazz. Yeah, smooth jazz is great. So, would you like some John Coltrane? I did a John Coltrane painting on my live stream. No, it's on my YouTube channel, and it's a speed painting. So I love Coltrane. How about you, Roy? Do you like the Ludecky? Do you like John Coltrane? And Shania is Canadian. Shania is wonderful. Interesting story about Shania Twain is that she was married to her producer, or a famous producer, and the producer turned out to be cheating on her, and was cheating on her with a woman who was also married, and Shania and the man who had his wife cheated on, they actually started talking. They got together and got married. So I think that's a nice story. So that was cool. So, all for Shania's happiness. She's not in the limelight too much anymore. She might just be taking it easy, maybe raising a family or something. Yes, Mutt Lang, very, very well, yes. And Roy Ludke likes Coltrane. Me too. Coltrane is just so fantastic. He's a lot of fun to, very peaceful to paint. One of the things I'm looking forward to are those cold winter mornings when you wake up and you put on the heat and you put the coffee on, and the first thing you do in the morning is you just turn on your computer, fire up the airbrush, and just start working before everybody's awake, like on a Sunday. It's so great. Todd, thanks for hanging out. And Paul, thanks for hanging out. It's so great you're here, and I really appreciate you being here. And everybody, Brad and Total Pain, Chris, Colette, you guys are what the live stream is about. So in the future, near future, there's going to be a pumping the trigger video, and there's going to be a sharpening a video, just how I sharpen my needle video. But first is going to be that really cool video, which is pumping the trigger, why it's so happy, and all that good stuff. And thank you, everybody. It is 11:31. I hope you have a great night. And don't forget to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. And take care. Have a great weekend coming up. And I got to hit this button that ends the live stream.